welcome back. What is up? How have you guys been doing this week? I apologize for it being more than a week since I've put out a video, but life just got like crazy busy, so I was slacking. Anyways, for those of you that are new, my name is Christy and welcome to my channel. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you stuck around. You guys have shook me to the core. Just over a week ago, I had 500 subscribers, and now I'm over 2,500 subscribers, and I was like, what just happened? So thank you guys so much for supporting me. Like, this was always just kind of a dream of mine, and I enjoy doing DIYs and sharing that with my friends and family. But to have other people that don't know me support me in this, it literally is gonna make me cry, because this, like, I love doing this and I love you guys supporting me. I love getting to share like all this little creative junk that's going on in my brain. So thank you guys so much, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Let's make a little heart. So this week we are going to do a couple, well, 3 boho wall hangings, I guess is what you would call it. We're going to use rope, yarn, string, twine, whatever you've got laying around so that you don't have to get out and go to the stores. I'm going to use a Dollar Tree wreath form and cut it up. For one of them, I'm going to use an embroidery hoop, or part of an embroidery hoop for one of them. And then on the other, we're gonna use a Dollar Tree plunger, and I'm gonna take the plunger part off and we're gonna use just the dowel part of it and see what we can come up with. And hopefully you guys like these. I wanted like kind of a macrame look wall hanging to go on my wall behind my couch. And so I kind of dug through my stuff to see what I could come up with, and this is what I did. So let's go to the craft room and get to crafting. All right, this is your list of supplies you will need, as well as a picture off to the side of what the finished product will look like. I'm going to start off, there's the picture on the left here of what we're going to be making. And this is the inside portion of an embroidery hoop. You can pick out whichever size is going to work best for where you're going to hang it. And I'm taking my antiquing wax and mixing a little bit of water in to create like a faux stain. And then I'm going to cover it in that. And then I will go back just like you would on a stain, and I will wipe it off. And then once I get it completely covered and wiped off, I realize it's not as dark brown as I hoped it would be, so I went back with just some straight antiquing wax that is not watered down at all, and covered it in that and let it sit for just a minute, and then wiped it back off, and it gave me that, you know, dark rich brown color that I was looking for. And if you end up hearing any jingling or snoring in the background, my pup's sitting here beside me, so that's what that noise is. It's not me, I promise. Okay, now that I've got that all wiped down, I'm going to show you the different types of yarn, just kind of an up close that I got for this. I just wandered down the yarn aisle and I found colors that were similar, that kind of went with that off-white taupe theme, but had a ton of texture. I wanted a lot of texture in the different yarns I used. I didn't want to use just one string all the way across. So that was just a personal preference. You go find what works best for your decor. This and the next one that I'll show you is some macrame cotton rope in 2 different sizes. And then this other little yarn which had tons of texture. I just loved it so much. So you go pick what works best for you. I cut all of these up and ignored this part right here because I'm just showing you something that I'm going to show you in a minute. But I cut a ton of different strands to the length that I wanted. And then here I'm going to loop it over and pull it through. So I hope you can see from, I'm kind of trying to show you. So you pull it through itself. You make a loop and then pull the end through and then tighten it down on the embroidery hoop. And then I will speed this up so you don't have to watch me and watch me and watch me. And you put as many or as few strands as you want. Like I said, this is very personal preference on what you think looks good. You know, what I think looks good may not be what you think looks good. So you do it to match your decor and your color scheme and however many strands you want. I wanted mine to go up pretty far on the sides. Like I said, I wanted more than anything like a lot of texture just to give that really boho look to it. So I just kind of keep holding it up and looking until I'm pleased with how it looks. Now I'm going to take some succulents, and these were just some that I had. I had ordered this box off of Amazon. I kind of picked out which ones I thought looked good, and I'm going to cut off the little stem on the back just so it doesn't stick out so far. I tried to make it kind of the same length as how wide my embroidery hoop is, and that way it'll just kind of sit on there really well. I'm just going to hot glue it on and put lots of hot glue so that it stays well. And I did choose, I think like 4 or 5 of the larger succulents, and those were some I got off Amazon. And then I also wanted to put some smaller ones, and the small ones that I showed you there at the beginning, they're really tiny. They came off of a garland that I got on Amazon, and I can link that for you if you guys would like to purchase one. And I just pulled them off of the garland, and that's, you kind of got more bang for your buck doing it that way because the garland was cheaper than buying a box of those little succulents. So that's the way I did it, and then I just pulled them off myself because it's not hard to do. And then the little vine looking succulents, those came from, I believe I ordered them off Romwe, which is just a website I go on that has a lot of cheap, I mean, you can get all kinds of stuff on there. You can get clothes, bathing suits, sunglasses, home decor, and it was kind of on this little vine. I'll show you it in a minute as well. And I just cut off a little end, and I thought I would kind of do the same with it. I just cut it in little pieces and use it in little sections, and I kind of get more bang for my buck. It goes a lot farther that way. And here I'm showing you that those are some of the Dollar Tree succulents, and you can just pull those out of that little container and cut it off and use it the same as I did. And here is the Romwe vine that I was telling you about that I just cut little sections off of. And I think I got that for like $2 or $3 on that site. And here's the garland that I was telling you about. All right, and there is how easy they come off. I mean, they literally just pop right off. And then I also wanted to show you guys, you could also, if you didn't like the succulents or you didn't have succulents, you could put lavender, you could put some of these little greenery from the Dollar Tree, from Walmart. You know, they have lots of cute little things like that that go well with this too. You know, it doesn't have to be a succulent if you don't like succulents or don't have any. Here I'm taking another piece of my yarn,
and I'm going to make just a little hanger at the top. You don't have to do this if you wanted to just hang it by the embroidery hoop itself, but I wanted a little, like a little piece of rope up there just to kind of hang it from. I thought it kind of gave it a little nicer look, but again, that's just personal preference. If you don't like it, you don't have to add it. If you like one of the other ropes better, use that. You could use wire, you could use some jute twine. It's just whatever makes you happy. Do that. That's what I want you guys to get out of anything I create, and I give you inspiration. Do something that makes you happy. If you don't like what I do, but it sparks an idea in your mind, run with it. Like, that's what I do a lot of times. I'll, search the web for something, and I see something that I like, but it's not exactly my style, or I think of a way I can change it up and make it something that I would love. And that's what creativity is all about. So do that. Do what makes you happy. And if you guys do end up making any of these and you have an Instagram, post a picture on Instagram and tag me in it. I'm at Christi Creates DIY on Instagram, so I would love to see it. So here is the wreath form that I used on the second one, and it is just from the Dollar Tree. I take my little wire nippers, or I think that's what those are called, and I just cut 2 of these loose. I cut the very outside wire circle and the very inside. You could use any of those that you wanted if you wanted them to be closer in size. I wanted the 2 that were the farthest away in size because I thought it would look a little cuter and give it a little more dimension when it hung on the wall. And so I was trying to get it to where, like when you cut it, there's still a little tiny piece of wire there. I was trying to break those pieces off and it was bending it. So I thought, well, I'm gonna cover it in yarn anyways. It'll probably cover it up. So I end up just kind of leaving those on there. It's not really that big of a deal. And here I'm going to take a little bit of my yarn, and this is some of the yarn that I used on my last DIY. And I'm going to wrap that yarn around both of these wire frames all the way around and completely cover it. And here this thing keeps fighting with me, but I was trying to cover up one of those spots like I was telling you about where there was a little piece of that wire still on there. So I was kind of making it just a little bit thicker just so you couldn't see that poking through. And then I'm just hot gluing that down. And I put my little silicone finger things on so that it wouldn't burn me so bad. I found those on Amazon as well. And then I just wrapped and wrapped and wrapped. And I'm not going to show you wrapping both of these just because, I mean, it's pretty monotonous and you get the idea, but you just wrap it until the end, and then I hot glue down the end. And I'm going to kind of show you how I start this, and then I won't bore you with the rest of it. And then ta-da, it's done. So now I'm going to hot glue these together where I want them to sit. I wanted them to be together at the top and then have quite a bit of a space down at the bottom. So I hot glue it together, and then I'm going to take some more of that yarn and wrap around just to kind of give it some extra strength to make sure it holds in place. And here I just kind of wrapped until I was happy with how it looked. I wanted it to have just a little bit thicker of a look there. And then I kind of tied it through itself, and then I hot glued down the end. And for this one, I started to use some of that string, and I thought, you know what, we're gonna go a little different with this one. This one's going to be completely a Dollar Tree. That way you don't have to order anything off Amazon. You may have everything in your stash. So I end up taking this off, and then I try one other string, and I decide to use one of the Dollar Tree mops, and that's what we're going to use as our string. So just ignore me while I think here, because I was kind of like deciding, do I want to do this? And then I thought, nope, we're going to go all Dollar Tree. So you start seeing me cut here, and then that's when I think, after a minute, I was like, And this was where, at the time, I was still letting my embroidery hoop dry, so I went ahead and cut all of the string for that previous DIY. And then I decided I'm going to use the Dollar Tree mop. I'm telling you, I'm scatterbrained. Like I've said in every other video, it's like I'm doing this, and then I'm doing that, and then I'm like squirrel, and okay, back to the same. So, sorry, that's just how my brain works. So on these, you can literally just pull these strings out. I usually kind of grab a couple, pull them out, and then the more you pull out, the easier they get to come out. And I loved how the Dollar Tree mops have, I'm trying to show you, they have little like flecks of color in them, like pink and blue and yellow. So I thought that was really cool, and it really went with that boho theme that I was going for. So got all of those pulled out. I'm gonna save this little piece for a DIY later because I'm sure I can use it for something. So these, I don't cut any of these down. I use them exactly at the length they're at. And I'm gonna do the same thing that I did on the last one. I'm gonna make a little loop and pull the ends through and then tighten it down. And I kind of scoot it together. Then I pull really hard on it just to make sure it's really tightened down on there. And I'm kind of trying to show you what it looks like from each side. And you can do it backwards of how I'm doing so that you have that knot part on the front side if you want. Like I said, that's totally personal preference. I just liked the look of this way better, so. Same with this one. Make a loop, pull the ends through, and then tighten it down. And then I will speed it along so that you don't have to watch it in slow motion. And you just keep going, and again, this is personal preference. You put however much. Oh, I was trying to show you here that there were like these little gold and silver flecks in it. Like it had like the colors in it, but there was also these little metallic pieces of string that I thought were so cool. And I didn't notice it at the beginning. And you just fill it in as much as you want. If you want just a little bit there at the bottom, you do you. I just wanted a little fuller look to mine, so that's why I said it's just personal preference. That's what art is. You create what you like. and as I was going, I tried to add one to each side, and then the other end, and then the other end, and that way I could kind of watch it as I was going to see if it was full enough or not. And there I was having lining difficulties. But I would just kind of switch back and forth to each end, and that way I could hold it up and look at it and say, is it full enough yet? Because I wasn't sure where I really wanted to stop. I didn't want it to get so far up on the sides that it was like curving down like a whole lot, so. And then I went up to the next ring and kind of did the same thing. I started in the middle and would go back and forth from side to side and kind of make sure it was even over the other pieces. Did the same thing here where I tied on a little string at the top so I could hang it from, and then I thought it needs something else, so I dug out some of my wood beads. These are from Amazon, but you can also get the ones from the Dollar Tree, and I kind of separated it off to see where I wanted them to hang, and I wrapped a piece of just regular Scotch tape around the end to kind of make me a point that I could push through the beads. And then I've got actually two different sizes of beads. I had some smaller ones and some larger ones, so I thought it would be cute to use both of the sizes. So I put on, I believe, one larger one, one smaller one, one larger one, one smaller one, and then one larger one. Yeah, you can see the size difference there once they're side by side. My rope, the Dollar Tree mops are kind of flimsy, so as I was pulling on it, the rope broke a little bit, so I put another piece of tape on there. So there's that one. So I tried to kind of count over so it was pretty even, and then put another piece of tape around. And on the two that are on each side, I only put 3 beads on each of those. I did, I believe, a smaller one, a larger one, a smaller one. I just kind of wanted to give it, you know, that extra little texture, a little bit of dimension. I just think all of that adds so much to anything that is in that boho family. Kind of gives it a little bit of grunge and attitude, and I just love it. And I hope you guys enjoy these. I just tried to do 3 wall hangings, and that way if one of them wasn't your style, maybe one of the other ones are. Got it all on, and now take off my little piece of tape. And you could brush through these to give it, you know, that more fringy look. I decided to leave that as it was and then take the rest of my mop strings, and I'm going to take one of those, fold it in half, tie a knot at the end that there is a loop, and then kind of, I wanted to make my loop big enough that it would fit on a plunger dowel. So I made sure it was big enough, and then you really tighten it down. And now you're going to take one loop, fold it in half like that. Oh, I end up, I think on all of these, I cut all of these in half just because they were so long. I was going to end up cutting a bunch of it off at the end anyways. So I thought instead I'll just make way more string. And that way I don't have so much to waste, if that makes sense, hopefully. So just cut them directly in half. Then fold them over. And lay it underneath like that. Take the other one, fold it over. You're going to lay it directly across that one. And then on each one of those, you're going to tuck the end through the loop. And I hope that I am making enough sense, or you can at least tell by what I'm doing. But one will go on top, one will go on bottom of that string, and then you will put the end of the other one through the loop and then pull it tight. And it makes that little macrame knot there. And we're going to continue to do that all the way down this rope. And then we're going to brush them out a little bit, and we will have little macrame feathers that are so cute. So you're taking your second loop, and this time I put, did you notice I put it, the one on the bottom was coming in from the different side, and that way it moves the knot from one side to the other. I was trying to lock it in really tight, and then once you get it locked in, you scoot it up really close to that last knot. And you're going to do the same thing. I put the one in from the right side on the bottom. Tuck both of those ends in. Pull them tight and scoot them up. I'm kind of showing you here. You can kind of tell how the knot goes back and forth from side to side. I just think it gives it a little cleaner look. It kind of nestles in. And on these, you just go down as far as you want. I kind of tried to pull them down and see if they were gonna lay in a downward motion like a feather would for me. And then I just got a comb, a regular hair comb. It actually works better if you take a dog hairbrush. I didn't know where mine was, so I just found the closest thing, which was the comb, and brush through. Now this does have quite a bit of lint that comes off of it. It's fine, it kind of thins it out just a little bit. If you use the actual macrame, like cotton rope on this, I was showing you here that I'm going to put just a little dot of hot glue down there, just so it locks that last knot in place. And then I'm going to cut it into a feather shape. But what I was saying about the cotton rope, the macrame rope, when you brush through it, it gives it this like hair-like texture, and it makes it so like feathery looking. It's really, really cute. But I was trying to keep this as using your extra Dollar Tree items. If you guys want to see me do one of those with the actual macrame rope, I can do that and show you what it looks like if you want. just let me know in the comments down below. So I went ahead and repeated that for 2 more. Took my plunger off of the wood dowel there, and I'm just going to use the wood dowel. I'm going to slide my feathers on, and then I wanted some sort of a little hanger piece, so I'm going to take just this is some cotton twine from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to wrap it around the ends, and that way it covers up that little threaded part there on the end. You could also just cut that off with a hacksaw or something, and then you wouldn't have to do this, but I put enough around it that it covers it up completely. But I thought it honestly kind of gave it a little extra something anyways. I thought it was cute having that wrapped around the end like that. And then I also bleh, bleh, bleh. I cannot talk today, guys. What is happening? I don't know. I'm on the struggle bus, I guess. That's usually me, though. It's like all day, every day. So I'm putting a little bit of glue just to kind of lock it in place. And then I wrap and wrap and wrap. And then I take it over to the other end and I kind of pull it up to see how much I want to hang from. And then wrap it around the other end. And here I'm just holding it up to see how much of a hanger that I want. And then I'm gonna tie it on that other end, lock it in with just a little bit of hot glue, and then wrap and wrap and wrap like I did on the other end, and then you will be done. And that is it. Like I said before, if you guys have an Instagram and you post a picture, tag me in it at Christi Creates DIY. And that way I can see what you come up with. I would love to see what you guys make. Leave me comments down below if there was anything you didn't understand. And on the previous 2 DIYs, if you want to trim the bottom of those, you can cut them off in a straight line. You can cut them off at an angle. You can cut them in a V shape. Just whatever makes your heart happy, do that. And that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed.
So much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed these tutorials. I hope you made it along with me. If you did and you have an Instagram, go over there, post a picture, and tag me in it. And make sure while you're there that you follow me on Instagram as well. We can be friends there. And that way on Instagram, if you ever have a question that you don't want to post in the comments on YouTube since it's public, you can always send me a DM and I will try to get back to you just as quick as I can. From here on out, I want to try to post at least 1 video a week, and I would really like to get to where I post 2 or 3 a week. I don't know how possible that is, just because life's kind of crazy busy right now, but I will try. So I'm not gonna set a date or a time that I'm gonna upload like a lot of people do, just because I don't want to disappoint you guys if I don't have time that week to get it uploaded, and then you're like, well, where's your video? So that's why I'm not doing that right now. I may in the future decide to do that. So let me know your thoughts on it. Do you think I should? Do you think I shouldn't? And then also, like I said, let me know down below if you guys made this and which one you made, and if it was easy enough for you, if I explained it well enough. Like, I would love to have your feedback so I know if you guys are enjoying it, because I want you guys to enjoy what I put out there for you. So let me know that. Be sure to subscribe before you leave if you haven't already. and leave me a comment, even if it's just to say hi, because that helps my channel to grow. It makes YouTube notice it and they will push it more, and then I can make more friends. And you know, I like my new friends, so. And I've loved the comments you guys have left so far. I've tried to answer all of them. If I haven't, I have seen it, I promise, and I'm going to try to get to everyone. So don't think I forgot about you. I did see it, and I will get back to it as soon as I can. I'm one of those people, if I don't answer it right then, as I told you in my last video, it's like, squirrel, oh wait, I was doing something and I can't remember what I was doing. So age will do that to you, and teenagers, so. All right, well, you guys have a wonderful, blessed rest of your week, and hopefully we'll see you back here for the next one. Bye.